So,
Oh,
but
they
now
all
they
rolled
can
like
hear
nat
us.
ones, nat twos, nat threes.
Hello. Sorry, we're running a little behind today, and I haven't even finished setting up. My light is facing the wrong direction.
Okay, let me fix that for you
Thanks.
since you're at the house.
Yep. We're all over at Reborn's
Yeah.
house today.
There we go. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
Except
All
for
of his
yours.
rooms are decorated the exact same in all the corners.
Yep. Exactly. Mini camera angles.
Yes, I
The
like
same
it.
thing.
I didn't make it.
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Recording in progress.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to Hearth and Hammer. We are a family-friendly D&D show, and we are so thankful that you're here tonight. We are excited because we're always excited to play D&D, but we're just really excited about where the adventure is going. At least that's what they tell me, unless they're lying to me. So, but yeah, how are you guys doing this evening? It's Thanksgiving week.
Great.
It
I'm ready
is.
to get stuffed Thursday.
It's gonna be so good.
Yes.
I'm thinking Friday will be lots of sleep, lots of turkey-induced coma sleep.
Yeah.
Very, very agreed.
Yeah. I mean, since we're all over at your house, what's Mrs. Reborn cooking?
We have a turkey. We have a ham. I think I might need to get a bigger one since everybody's over now.
Absolutely.
She's making all kinds of fixins.
Fantastic. We too have a turkey. And I don't know what else my wife is preparing, but it's going to be delicious. That's all I have to say.
I have a question because this is a conversation that I had recently.
Yes.
Does anyone else have like tamales and taquitos for Thanksgiving like my family does?
No.
Okay, well.
This
Guess I'm the only
America.
one.
This
Hey,
Now,
America,
I do
sir.
enjoy both of those things.
Yes.
Even at the same meal, but not on Thanksgiving.
I have grown to prefer them over anything else on Thanksgiving, and I am
That is
sad that I won't
okay.
be having it this year.
That is okay. I mean,
Oh,
having a tradition is fun and important. We do if we are having Christmas Eve with my family, with my mom, we do egg rolls on Christmas Eve. I know. Crazy tradition. It's not on Christmas. Christmas we do like kind of traditional Christmas meal, but on Christmas Eve it's like fair game, right? So
my mom used to do. She had three of us boys that were grown up, and we'd all fight over who got to break the wishbone. So instead of a
Nice.
turkey, we would always have Cornish game hens, so that we each had a wishbone, and we would all just break them with my mom each year. So I'd never really
That's
had
awesome.
turkey much on Thanksgiving growing up.
I saw Cornish game hens at the store today, and I was super tempted to get them.
They're actually really good. I like
They
them.
are really good. We're a bunch of carnivores here, so that's awesome. But hey,
Really?
again,
Yeah.
welcome to Hearth and Hammer. We are on episode 37.
Holy
So,
cow!
We have
Yeah.
streamed our campaign 37 times.
Guys, this is crazy.
And then we've streamed
It is
at
crazy.
least 10 more streams. No, hold on. Probably 8 more streams. 3 or 4 of them being H&H Adventures. One of them being Heals one shot.
One shot.
And then a few of them being some just like fun video gaming on nights we couldn't get the
Mhm.
whole crew together. So
when
yeah.
does our year
crazy.
mark hit?
Our year mark is going to be
It's coming up.
because it's like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was to say it's coming up.
It was, I
fast.
want
Wow.
to say we did it.
It's the middle of December.
Yeah,
I feel like we
think-
almost
Oh,
missed.
wow.
Oh wait, no, it would have been December, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I would never have thought like a year ago when we
Dude.
started, when like this started as a grumbling amongst people I had never met other than talk to White Fox a few times.
Yeah.
I was just like, and then Heels reached out and he's like, we're gonna play some D&D. You in? I was like, yeah, who's we? And then
Yeah.
like I get to meet all you guys. It's literally just like, yeah, we're gonna
Right?
play D&D, guys. I've never done it, would love to. Here we are, going on almost a year later.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Right. All
I think
because.
this.
Go ahead.
I think December 8th was when we started. I think we were supposed to start on the 1st, and we ended up pushing it back to a week to the 8th.
It's probably Austin's fault.
100%.
We're gonna blame him.
100%.
We're gonna blame him because he's not here tonight.
Because
so.
he's not here.
That seems fair.
But he's not here for a good reason. Besides being Thanksgiving week here in the United States, he is transitioning from his current occupation. And so he's winding up a whole bunch of projects and stuff because he's been a busy guy. Colin can attest to that. So he's a busy guy. So anyway, but if he wants to tell you all about that, I will let him tell you all about that another time. But we will miss him. And
I'll be back.
may or may not try to keep his character alive. So, but we are excited. So, first of all, if you want to go back and start at the beginning and binge watch or listen to all the episodes leading up to a year's worth of Hearth and Hammer, which you should. One, to see how far we've come, because Heels and Reborn had never played before, and I think they've made a lot of progress. I think they've come a long way. I think that their characters have grown. I think that they have grown into their characters. I think it's been fantastic, and it's a lot of fun. But I think that our everything has grown. I think our story has grown into something really fun and unique, because we definitely we started with an adventure out of Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Yeah, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. That's what we started with. An adventure out of there, and we made it into our own, and it's been fantastic. So, yes. Official Abel Garcia, what's up? And Igsley, how's it going? And Mrs. Reborn Crusader. So glad that you're all here. So, but yeah. So you can definitely do that. You can go check out podcasts wherever you find podcasts. You can find our YouTube channel, and please find our YouTube channel and give us a subscribe, because we need to get to 100 so that we can claim the name Hearth and Hammer, because there's another entity out there called Hearth and Hammer. And while I have nothing against them, because they seem like a nice couple running this really cool like general store type thing, we need to have that name. So on YouTube. And we're only at like 30 subscribers, so we need to get to 100.
Yep.
But I'm thinking next week that we may actually start dual live streaming to Twitch and YouTube. So we'll see how that goes. And so yeah, anyway. But yes, please check us out in all the places. It's Hearth and Hammer. Or you can find podcasts at anchor.fm/Hearth and Hammer as well. You can also find us on like TikTok and other places. You can search for Hearth and Hammer and find us on YouTube. It just isn't, we don't have the URL yet. So
you
anyway.
are right. I just scrolled through a million messages. The 8th of December was our first
all
ever
right.
our first
Cool.
ever Hearth and Hammer
Fantastic.
episode.
So, I mean, that
There
would
we
be
go.
His
Yeah.
mind is like the Cobalt Souls. Nothing gets past it.
Nothing gets past it but the pronunciation. That's right. Yeah.
Of every word.
The-
Sorry, I got up and taught an entire
Cobalt?
class and mispronounced one of the main words the entire
It's all
time.
good. Yeah, so okay. So yes, please do. Also, we still are enjoying the fantastic music and sound effects by Monument Studios. And something very exciting is happening with Monument Studios. They have finished their Fantasy Complete production, and they are getting ready to. They are actually, I think they already have launched Fantasy Complete 2, which is twice the size of their current offerings, and there is full orchestral music. There is, and this isn't just like synthesized or stuff that they've created. This is like they actually had the ability to go and get orchestral music and real, Foley sound effect tracks from places in the world and stuff like that. And it's going to be amazing. And you know that we are going to be jumping on that in the future. So you should definitely go check it out. MonumentStudios.net. They're amazing. They seriously have the best royalty-free music and sound effects for your D&D or tabletop RPG game. It's not an opinion. It's just science. So
Science can't argue
they also
that.
have an amazing soundboard app that is quite inexpensive, and that it does have a cost, but it's quite inexpensive. And not only does it work on your PC or Mac, it also works on your mobile devices, which is pretty incredible. So check it out there. All right.
Just so you guys know, tomorrow marks the 1 year anniversary from the first moment we started discussing this campaign.
Nice.
Our very first message to each other was from Seth.
So actually,
it was the
we're probably at a
24th.
year then, because it was the day before when I talked to Heels on his stream.
Yeah.
And it was like, we could do a D&D campaign. We could,
because the
play
very
D&D.
first
You wanna play it? I
message
was
sent
like,
to all of
yes.
us was on 11/24
That's awesome.
2020.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's been a year. And it's been fantastic. And I'm not any less excited to continue going. So, because from this point, it's all just the story that we're all telling together, and I love it. I love where the story is going. I can't wait to see where you guys go, what you guys uncover. Sometimes I'm like scrambling to catch up to the direction you take, but it's okay. That's part of the fun of it. So,
I think honestly, the most fun that I've had though is not just getting to know like Thurden, getting to know the character, but actually getting to know, like, I knew Heels in real life, but getting to know the other four of you, even though Austin's not here, like behind the scenes, and getting to know you guys through your character and getting to know you guys as people has been, I think, probably the coolest part of it is that it's not just Thurden interacting with you guys, but it's me getting to interact with you guys outside of here, which is really awesome.
Save it for the anniversary, man. You're gonna make
I'm still waiting and hoping for that day that we get to stream from all in one place.
Oh my god!
Right?
Oh
Yes.
my guys, this
Jeff
is
had to
going
mess
to
it
get
up.
serious. This is going to get serious and get planned. Yeah, he's literally, guys. We could go get him. He's 15 minutes down the road. But
That's
then
true.
where's Austin? Austin wanted to run off and
know,
do something else.
But seriously, we have other things in the works. We have some of our members here have other projects in the works. They are playing even more D&D because, let's be honest, when you start playing D&D, you don't stop playing D&D.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
true.
is it
That's true.
amazing?
You ramp up how much you play D&D.
Honestly,
or other tabletop games.
I've literally abducted my family into it now. Actually, Heels runs an in-person one. Both my son and my wife, Mrs. Reborn, play in this campaign. So our entire family is now just And as a matter of fact, Mrs. Heels, Dr. Heels' wife, also plays in that campaign. So our entire families have just been sucked into this world.
That's true.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's amazing to hear that you guys who came into it with this being your first experience have taken it and gotten more people involved. Because really, at the end of the day, it's good to spend time with people, and it's good to build relationships by sitting around and laughing together and hanging out together. And that's part of why we wanted this to be family friendly. I know. But
you're right. Save it for a year.
I myself have actually started a campaign with my two sons. And hopefully, if I get around to editing the videos, I may put that on YouTube too. So we'll see.
Cool.
Because, man, let me just tell you, they're a little bloodthirsty.
Little murder hobos you got on your hands.
11-year-olds.
That's my current party too.
That's how a lot of the ones that started like in our
Well,
campaign.
yeah. I'm gonna
we have
have
a couple kids and they just want to
start
murder
watching
everything.
Hearth Hammer so they get some insights. So.
It's
Which we also
it's
have
hard for it's hard for first time players not to like understand that your actions have consequences.
Oh yeah.
So if you try to rip off a store owner, he might not sell to you in the future. He's not some dude that's getting ran by programming. There's a real person behind that. And that person's the DM.
Mrs. Heels, I'm sorry, not Mrs. Heels. Mrs. Reborn has to be kept in check quite a bit because she's a little bloodthirsty. She's like, I don't care what we're doing in town, guys. Let's go kill stuff. I'm like,
I think that
down.
she is perfectly justified in that. So
I have to do it with style.
exactly.
It has to do with style.
All right. Well, hey, I've enjoyed this chat, but we can get started and we can play.
Let's
some
get into
D&D tonight.
killing stuff.
All right. Well, hey, join us by the hearth as we forge a new adventure in the Underdark. All right. Last time on Hearth and Hammer, the adventurers entered the kobold city of Blueholdt, awed and shocked to see such architecture and civilization among kobolds. The party were ushered into the city under the watchful eye of the Nilampal, or kobold guard. Dak, their escort from the scouting party, led them to a small apartment to rest after their forest battles. After a full night's sleep, Dak returned with Linné, the kobold's common-speaking liaison, to take the heroes to meet the Kantha, or governor of Blueholdt. The Kantha claimed that to prove their good intentions, and in order to gain the knowledge that they seek concerning the drow that had escaped into the Underdark, the party should help the city be rid of a beholder, once killed by the Lord of Blueholdt, but mysteriously returned to the Mushroom Forest. The heroes leave the meeting with anxiety at their task, but intent on preparing for this dangerous encounter. So, heroes of Hupperduke, you find yourselves in Blueholdt. Linné there with you, as well as a few escorts. And you are able to look around the city. You are able to seek some supplies. What would you like to do?
I'm thinking we might need to go see these guys in the that are wearing that are peddling their wares for Underdark travel, because we may not have the right stuff to fight the beholder.
I was gonna say the same thing, but we haven't made much money since being down here.
I've got the little bit of coin left over, and a dead man can't spend his coin as much as I don't want to part with it. If there's something obviously that'll keep us alive and help us, I think it might be best if I maybe give up a little coin to make sure we get through it.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. I've got a little bit of coin that I could part with as well.
Hey, let's just go see what we got. I mean, if everything's out of our range, then we'll just have to make do with his sword and me hammer and Morden's blessing at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make our way there.
Hey.
You see Anwin has been fluttering around you after you left the meeting, and she kind of comes and sits on your shoulder, Pete, and says, "Oh, there's so many pretty things here."
This is
She
most
just-
of what I see, yeah.
She just sits there looking around at the cavern city that you're within. And,
Does the Feywilds ever look like this?
oh no, at least not the places that I've been. But then I've never been in caves in the Feywild. And there's an awful lot of blue gems here. Lene is there with you as well, and she says, "Yes. Is there anything that you need? Is there some place you would like to go?"
I guess we're looking for anything that might help us fight the beholder at this point.
Yes.
She kind of shudders at the mention of a beholder and says, yes. Well, we can get you some supplies. What kind of supplies do you need?
I guess we're not really sure.
I've never fought with
weapons.
Beholder. I don't know what to look for.
Yes.
Weapons,
magical
perhaps, or
artifacts.
potions.
Yes.
Yeah, more
Yes,
magical
yes.
artifacts. Do you have any cheap magical artifacts, perchance?
Magic.
Do you do tradesies down here?
Tradesies?
Tradesies.
What's
Like,
tradesies?
for example, I've got a thing, and I want another thing. Can I just trade you for it?
Oh Lord.
Sometimes we do that.
It's called,
Alright.
But
it's called barter.
yes, a barter. Yes.
Crazy.
But I mean, magic things. No, we don't have very many magic things. The only magic things that we have are either go to the lord of the city, or they are granted to some of the favorites.
Aye.
Interesting. This Lord of the City is a
Wh-
collector of magic things, eh?
Would I know
Oh, what?
from the small amount of knowledge that I have of Beholder? Would I know what kind of things might be useful going up against Beholder, as far as like any kind of potions that we would probably need to bring with us to counteract anything the Beholder could do to us? I know my knowledge is not extremely extensive of it, but
I would say roll a history check
first roll of the night, guys.
with. I'll just leave it at that.
You didn't even
one.
need to say. You didn't even need to say the disadvantage because I rolled a 2. It would have been a nat 1 had you said disadvantage, but it's a 2, so I know nothing.
So you don't recall ever like you Theoden have never encountered a beholder.
Right.
You've seen maybe the corpse of one in the aftermath of a battle. You saw the devastation that it caused amongst a troop of paladins, but you don't know what was needed to fight it.
And we saw the big floaty one in the mushroom fields and everything.
Yeah, I've got quite a few spells that can counteract some poison. I think Jay says the same. I think maybe some stock up on some healing potions or something. So
Yeah,
we're not,
if we can.
Yes,
So
that's an excellent idea.
I've got 5 potions of healing if I need to disperse those, but I can also I can defend against necrotic damage within a certain range if anyone stays within the range. So I guess the 3 of us, if we stick together, and Rowan, of course, while Lee, you can go do your thing because you normally do that anyway. But the rest of us, I'll have to cast a higher level spell, but I can protect us from not only feeling like we're dying, but feeling like we'll never get better as well.
Sounds like you can cure drunkenness.
Well, that's easy. It's protection from poison. Or just convincing you that it really is your water skin. But it's fine.
Aye. So you want to go check out the potion vendor then? Do you guys have a do you guys have a potion vendor or something like that around here?
We have a market.
Aye.
It's we don't have lots of potions for sale. We most magic things are for the Nila and Paul or the favorites.
I mean, I've got a greater potion of healing and 5 regular potions of healing. I don't know that we need to purchase more.
But there's a market, and you may be able to find some things.
I'm with you guys. If you want to go check it out, let's check it out. If you want to go run into the face of a beholder, I'd hate to say it, but I might follow you in or lead you there.
I mean, I'd prefer to have a +1 or a magic scimitar over this magic mace, but at least I've got a magic mace. So, unless there's any sort of traps or things that we're thinking we should set up, then I think I'm good to go, other than maybe having some time to adjust my prepared spells for the day, perhaps.
I still need a spear, so I would like to
Hey, well then let's go. We can probably
see if we can find one there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, might as well
Pete
do a wee
sees-
bit of shopping before we.
Pete
So-
sees some
Fine.
shiny rocks and is going to go look at those for a second.
Okay. All right. So so you begin to walk towards the market. Lene starts leading there, and like I said, you've got an escort of a couple of the Nila and Paul behind you. Not necessarily threatening in any way, just there to kind of escort you, make sure that things are on the up and up. But Lene says, "Oh yes, we will go this way to the market, and we might be able to open some of the smith to see if there's any weapons that you maybe could want, because we don't sell lots of those things just to ourselves. We kind of make them just for the Lampa. So but yeah, we can go. And so she starts leading you back away from the governor building and down the main thoroughfare. A couple of you roll perception checks.
I'm not doing that.
I'll roll one.
A good roll, guys.
I'll
Tonight.
roll one.
Lee and Jace.
That would be a nat 1 on my part. So that's
would-
an 8, but
Our dice are cursed.
What was yours, Lee?
I got a 16.
Okay. So, Jace in this place is just fascinated and distracted by the manner of these kobolds down here. I mean, they continue to amaze you with how not civilized like a human city or an elf city where everything is beautifully handcrafted and there's there's opulence everywhere, but there's a lack of filth. There's a lack of dirt. I mean, it's you've never, in all of your years of knowing about kobolds, or even when you think about the hero's haven that you all now reside in, it was nothing compared to that. That was more of a true kobold den, if you will, whereas in this is a city. Like I said, most of the structures are stone. They look like they were almost carved out of this cavern. They don't look like they're not bricks that have been put together. And you all know a little bit about kobolds, that they're excellent tunnelers, but it's never usually this organized. Lee, you, as you look around, and as you are walking back towards, from the governor, buildings there, back towards your apartment that you were in previously, looking around, you kind of noticed some things, but you hadn't really noticed that the thoroughfare that you're on, thinking that it was kind of the main thoroughfare of the city, actually is off to the side, and that there is a large stone pillar to your right. And along that stone pillar, it looks like there's more battlements. It looks like there are more of the glowing blue sapphire gems going up around it. And it looks like there's another portion of the city on the other side of it. And so, while nothing compared to some of the human cities you've been in, it's definitely not as small as you thought it was. It's larger than you initially thought when you entered in. So, with that, you are led back towards your apartment, and you pass through some of the market upon your arrival, and so you are taken back that direction. And as you come to a certain area, you again see a market very much like pop-up shops. They are stalls outside of dwellings, and you gather that these dwellings double not only as dwellings but also as maybe certain crafters' places of work as well. You see a few things that are familiar, like some leatherworking. You see a smith, but this smith doesn't have necessarily weapons. They have more common items that you might find, that cities or villages would need. You see, what you don't see is a lot of woodworking. Again, everything here is kind of stone. What pieces there are that look like wood, you can tell are kind of like those dried husks or almost logs of large fungal growth. So, but you make it into this area, and Lene says, "Oh yes, here, this area we have some items. We have someone who does do medicine. We have someone who does. They have some armors, and you see there's several different of the leatherworkings. What this one over here kind of does, like standard clothes. This one kind of does like bags and accessories and items, and then this one over here does what looks like kind of armor. What looks like some of the armor that the kobold guard wear. You see the smith, and then Lene says, yes, this is one of our smiths, but he does not have the weapons. For that, we'll have to go to another part of the city. But we could start here, and then if you want more, we can go.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. So, what are you guys looking for? Anything?
I'm looking for weapons and potions.
Okay.
And anything that has the crystals, because I'd like to take some back to the Cobalt Souls.
Okay. So you see the both, like all three of the leatherworking stalls work some of these crystals into all of their items, basically. They are, while not super common, I mean, kobolds still, you can tell, appreciate their shininess. Whether they are valuable because they're so plentiful, you don't know. But they are there, and they, appreciate them, and they work them into almost everything. You see the smith also does the same. So there'll be things that, like I said, everyday items that have these in them. You could. There's a lot more metal and stonework. In fact, the smith not only has metal, but you see things that are like, earthen cups and jugs and jars, and so there's kind of like the smith, and then along with him is like, or part of that shop are like earthen things like clay and also stone, pottery kind of thing.
So is the smith currently working on things?
You do see the smith working. You see there are people. I say people. There are kobolds milling about, citizens of the city of Blueholdt, and they kind of give you a wide berth, but they also continue on their way. Some carrying items, some stopping to look at these stalls, some speaking with the owners of these stalls in Draconic, which you've come to recognize now, but I don't believe any of you speak it. And so they'll talk to each other and kind of in that kind of like barking guttural language of Draconic, and then sometimes they'll trade things over, sometimes they'll trade. You see some of them would trade some of these blue crystals, or they'll trade some coin as well.
I'd probably watch the smith work, just kind of take into account how he's working the different materials he has here than what I would have.
Roll a. Let's see. So this is going to be, I'll say it's going to be with advantage because it's going to be with like, stonework or masonry kind of. I'll give you that. Is it not intelligence, but maybe intelligence? Let's go with intelligence, but like I said, with advantage. So.
Well, don't really need advantage when you roll 2 nat ones and you have +0 to your intelligence anyway.
Tasha's not allowed to touch your dice anymore.
I actually got my daughter's dice and rolled it.
2 nat ones.
But she gave them to me. Yeah.
I apologize. Never mind. It's not your fault. I know you're here moderating. Thank you so much for all you do.
I just hear her over here talking. She just heard you.
That's funny. All right. Well, so you begin watching him.
I'm having a bad night, guys.
And you, rather than focusing on the method or what he's doing, you get lost in the rhythmic clanging of hammer and anvil and the hiss of putting it into water and into back into the hot coals of the forge, and then the hammer and the anvil again, and you almost just kind of lose yourself in that. It's surprisingly peaceful in a city where you've been tense the entire time. And while you can't follow what he's been doing, and you don't even remember what it was he was making. You do find yourself oddly at peace hearing the familiar sounds. It's interesting, to be sure.
Thurden would just probably kind of stand there with that blank look on his face, staring off. He's got that 1,000-yard stare where he's just completely out of it, just in his own thoughts at the moment.
Okay. Any of the rest of you want to do anything or look at anything?
Yes. He said he was making things, not weapons, but like tools and other things.
Yeah, he's making tools. He's making. I mean, like there's a table or a bench there in front that looks like there are finished items on it. Some of them, things like I said, it's kind of mixed with like stone and earthenware as well as like metal. So like there might be like a metal handle attached to like a stone mug, or there might be a, and surprisingly inlaid in that is a blue crystal. There's silverware, like very crude, but still it's there kind of thing.
Is there any?
Where do you think this leather comes from? Seen nothing but spiders. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm over here doing my own thing.
I'd like to get some leather working tools if they have any.
Okay. So you look through the tools and you're able to find them. And so you indicate that you want to try to get those?
Yes.
Okay. So Lene listens to your inquiry and reaches over to the one of the workers there and speaks in Draconic and comes back and says, "Oh, yes, these tools for working on the leathers and such, they what do you want to, did you say you want to do the tradesies, or were you wanting to pay some gold? I mean, we don't often pay each other with gold, but I can tell you that we still like gold." And she kind of chuckles, like it's like a secret. Like it's not a well-kept secret that kobolds like gold and shiny things.
I'll pay with gold.
Okay, yes.
How much would that be?
Oh yes. Yes, these tools. It'd be. Said 2 gold.
All right, thank you, and pay the 2 gold, and then take it.
Okay. So you hand over the 2 gold, and the kobold looks at it, and he's like, "Oh," and he starts chattering away in Draconic, and she says, "Oh, he is very pleased, and hopes that they serve you well."
Thank you, and I kind of nod towards him.
Okay. I would say with that, those tools, there's probably a few of them that have very small blue gems inlaid in them. Like I said, nothing that, again, it's very common here. It would be like it would be like going to the Southwest and finding turquoise and everything,
What is that hurts.
So.
That hurts.
I lived there once, okay? I can say that.
I don't know.
Well, just rhinestone.
What is the
cool?
What is the actual quality of the tools themselves? Does it seem like they're pretty decent quality, or?
Yeah, it seems like a decent quality. It's not like I said, it's not refined like elven or dwarvish make, but it's sturdy. It's exactly what you would need, and functional, like I said. And then, like I said, it's got those elements of those blue gemstones in them that here probably don't mean anything other than the fact that they put them in everything.
Mm-hmm.
But were you to show them outside of here, would probably be considered quite valuable. Or at least you might think so, considering you don't see this, tools made
everywhere
with crystals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would also look to see, is there any like kind of any of the jewels just kind of like on something that I'd be able to attach to some of the weapons or something?
So there's not any weapons here.
But just the jewels that I could attach to some of my current weapons.
So you see, like, amongst their supplies, like behind these tables and behind the stalls and everything. I mean, you do see like small piles of them. Like things that they're using to work with. Some, probably none of them bigger than like a finger, kind of thing. But you see them. Some of them, you see some. The leather workers, they're like wrapping them with leather and like putting little bits of metal wire around them to attach to things. But it's not like there's a shop here for them.
Yeah.
No. It's possible there could be one somewhere else in the city.
This is Lene, I think I'm ready to move on to the next part of the city if there's nothing else here that anybody would want to look at. Look at the rest of y'all.
Yes, I believe I'm ready to move on as well.
Okay. So
Erden is still completely locked in his trance.
okay.
Theoden, are you coming?
Pete's still doing math.
Rowan is just kind of looking around, also in awe of everything. And he says, I'm ready when you are. So Lene says, yes, and he looks at you, Lee, and says, you were wanting a weapon?
Yes, please.
Okay. We can go to the other side of the city where they make the weapons.
Thank you. Rowan has 2,000 gold left. I think he would probably spend the rest of it here buying flashy clothing or just flashy stuff in general.
The rest of it.
Yeah.
All 2,000.
I think Rowan definitely spends at least 10 gold on some like leather articles that have like the blue crystal gemstones like just inlaid in them like all over the place. So
I didn't know if can we actually buy those gemstones, because I thought it was like a you gotta
so
be
you
special
don't
to
see
get
any
one.
here. You don't see any here. So you guys haven't necessarily asked or inquired of that. So
Is there any way that we can get some of these gemstones?
It's
But anything-
crazy how that idea came into his head to ask that. Almost like somebody whispered it from the back.
I thought I had remembered asking, but anyway. Because they're
Lene
pretty
says,
neat. Y'all seem to have them all over the place.
Yes, possibly over in the direction in the area where we're going, where some more of the weapons are made and some of our other industry happens.
All right.
There
all
might
right.
be some over there that you could get.
I'm definitely interested in that.
So you're able to, you basically continue down and you get to a break in the buildings, and there's a road that goes perpendicular to the main thoroughfare that you've been on, and Lene starts leading you down this way. As you continue going through, it's not an alley; it's another road bisecting this area. But you start heading in the direction of that large stone pillar kind of in the middle of the city. And when I say stone pillar, I mean it's hundreds of feet around. But you're not heading directly for it. You're kind of heading in front of it. As you make it through, you do come out onto kind of still on this kind of roadway, but what you see now is actually you're a lot closer to that pillar, and you see the to your right, there is kind of a walled area, and you hear the sound of water, actually.
And this entire time we're walking, Thurden would probably be very, like, obviously out of it in his own thoughts, kind of just following you guys on autopilot.
Sure. As you continue along this road, you pass along. There's another kind of like battlement to your left, and then, like I said, there's like a rail, like a stone kind of railing, carved railing, and you can see over. There's actually between you and this road and this railing and where that pillar is, there's actually what looks like a kind of slow-moving river, and it looks like it's going around the pillar completely. But you only pass in front of it, and then again, as you look up, there are other kind of battlements up there and slits, and but there's also more of those large glowing crystals on there as well, which you see those spread out through here like almost like street lamps as well. Theoden, make a perception check.
Guys, I can't make this crap up. It's a 2.
Okay, so
With
Theoden
a
is still in a
+0.
daze.
I think even the dice are saying Thurden is just
Yes. Pete,
not there today.
are you rolling for one as well? Because you're muted.
I was trying to offer him one of my dice and drop it to him. It didn't work out, but sure, yeah, I'll make a perception check.
I'll let you make one as well.
15.
Okay. So you do notice as you walk, like I said, there's more of these. You notice from up on some of the upper tiers of these battlements, going further up, it's like multiple stories. You do notice what looks like a kobold, but with wings, take flight from one of those as well.
Great.
So,
Do y'all have wings sometimes? Is there some kobolds that have wings, or is that some sort of golem or something it's up there for surveillance?
do you ask this of Lene?
Yes, I do.
She says, she stops and she goes, "Oh, that's one of the favorites. They have some have wings, and some of them can do magic, but yeah, there's some, but most stay on the tower, in the column there."
It's incredible. They're not gargoyles by any chance, are they?
No. They're kobold. They're and roll a intelligence check for me.
Oh yay. 11.
Okay, easy enough. I just needed it over 10. You remember fighting one that had wings
the one at the very beginning, Stallmass
in Stallmass Lair after
had
you
the one
left
with the
and came
leather
back.
wings.
Well, he had fake wings.
Yeah, he had the leather
True.
like contraption thing on him.
But
Because I was going to
That
try to
one-
fly with them.
that one was a magic user, so,
Yeah.
as well. So, but yes. Anyway, this one, Pete, you did notice this one was more natural, like it was real wings. So, at least they moved like real wings. So, okay. So you pass by that. Like I said, pass by this kind of like river moat that's around this pillar, and you come out almost into like a mirrored thoroughfare. If you remember when you came in the city, it's split in two directions. And so you went and you were going down one thoroughfare, and this is the other thoroughfare. And there's more shops here less stalls and more workplaces. You pass by more armor leather workers. You actually pass by one that looks like they are dealing specifically with the gemstones. You see a blacksmith over here that is dealing in weapons, and then you also see one that looks like they are dealing with animals of some kind, like almost like you would see a stables or something, kind of thing.
Well, I'm going
Oh,
to.
and there's also a one that looks like they have a lot of dried mushrooms and leaves and plants there as well. So
I'm definitely going to the gemstone place. Y'all are welcome to come with me or not. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'll go with them.
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Lene
for
says,
sure.
"Okay,
I'm
yes,
pretty
so-
interested in the gemstones. I've only talked about them the whole time we've been here.
I'm gonna head over to the blacksmith then.
Hey, I know you don't
Okay.
care about the gemstones. It's alright. You can go get your spear.
I don't.
So-
I don't need a spear. That was Lee.
That's what I said. I said Lee.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, you said my name, Pete.
Okay, so you're going to the blacksmith, and are you inquiring anything, or are you just looking again?
I'm just gonna watch him as well.
Yeah. I'll also come. I'm also going to go to the blacksmith
Okay.
and see what he's got.
Okay. Again, here on this kind of market area, it's less a market area and more a place where they are building things for the city, for the army that is you've seen present here. It's almost more of not militaristic, but it's definitely more. These aren't things that they normally sell necessarily, though you being outsiders may be able to inquire about buying some.
I'm just
But
gonna
you do
watch him
see-
work.
You do see some spears. You do see some short swords. You see some crossbows and some short bows. And there are other larger tools like axes. Like probably used for going out and gathering. Like the giant mushroom trees, stuff like that. Other kind of odd bits here and there. You see knives. Lots of kind of daggers, knives used. Things that people would have that they would use on an everyday basis. But they're, like I said, kind of your basic armory type of weapons. So the difference being here, again, that a lot of them have the blue gemstones worked into them, either in the pommel of
Good.
the hilt or in hanging off of them, like hanging off of the tip of a spear or something. So
Any war hammers by chance? hammer.
you see a few hammers. Again, it's you're not sure of you'd have to maybe inspect something to see the quality of it, but yeah, you see a few hammers. So although
Just ready
typically
for-
as kobolds, are smaller creatures,
Yeah.
none of them would be like a warhammer necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, they would maybe be like the light warhammers where like other heroes could wield two of them, which to the kobolds would be almost like a great a warhammer that they could use two hands, because they all are close to the same size as Pete here. So I guess they're probably close to your height too. Most of them are probably a little shorter than you, Theoden, but every once in a while you see one that's about your height. Kind of like can stand up a little taller. Like, dwarves are much taller than much taller than kobolds, you know. But yeah, so that's what you see at this blacksmith. Do you inquire about anything, or you just watch at the moment?
You say he's got some daggers.
Mhm.
And these daggers have some of those blue jewels in them.
Yes, pretty much everything does.
Okay. Let's see.
I would say if you could find one, what would it look like? You know, like I said, like what would one that you find that would catch your eye? What would it look like?
I'd probably look for one with a nice blue, maybe like pommel at the end of the hand guard.
Yeah, like a cap.
At the end, yeah, and just something that would really shine. Really, I would be more interested in the craftsmanship of how it was attached and that making it more seamless. Just being a smith myself, that would probably, the craftsmanship of the item would probably draw me more towards it than anything super flashy or anything.
Are you looking for a dagger or a short sword, or?
I'm looking for a dagger or two.
Just study. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be pretty easy enough. You know, some of them would have just a metal cap. Some have like the jewel inlay on, like, in the center of the pommel, and some have it like maybe on, kind of like hanging off of like a leather thong off of it. But you find, were you looking for one or two? You said.
Two.
Okay, I'd say pretty easily enough with how much these blue sapphire gems are just everywhere. You find a pair that look like a matched pair that have these blue gemstone caps on the pommel. So.
I'll probably pick them up and inspect them, check out the craftsmanship of them.
Okay. So they're not quite on display like a shop necessarily or a stall. So you would probably have to get their attention to probably ask to see them, as they are more on like racks. So Lene kind of steps over, like between the two groups. She's trying to watch both of you here, and she says something in Draconic to one of the smiths, there, and he looks up and goes,
I think all the
she
says something.
With us, right? Yeah, Jason's here too. And she
says,
says,
I'm here.
Which item do you want to look at?
Those daggers, the pair of daggers there.
Okay, she quickly indicates which ones, and he says, he talks back to her and says, kind of gives you the side eye, and goes over and grabs one of them and reaches over and hands it to you.
I'd inspect it, kind of, just kind of pushing on it, checking, whether it's all put together well.
Seems well made, well balanced. Yeah, seems, got a nice grip. It's pretty straight blade, double-edged, nothing fancy, but decent craftsmanship. And then, you've got the gem in the pommels of these two particular ones.
How much, Lene? How much does he want for both of them?
She asks and says, indicates, how much would he be willing to sell them. He says, thinks for a second. Responds to Lene. She says, for the pair, she says, for both, it's, he is proud of these. He is proud of these.
As he should be.
So he says, no less than 6 gold.
I tell him I bought two 5 gold for 2.
You see the the blacksmith there who looks up and
And I'm making hand gestures so that like
so
you can
he's
see
kinda
I'm gonna
says-
hold up 5 and then point at the 2.
you get the sense that it's like he's gonna take it, you know, kind of thing. He's like, okay. Yeah, he makes a sound, and it's like, okay, it's 5 gold. You know, they're just simple daggers. You know, they're not +1 or anything. They're just.
I'm just gonna
simple
pull.
daggers.
I'm just gonna pull the 5 gold out, and I'm gonna pull 6 gold out, and I'm gonna miscount on purpose and end up leaving him 6 gold for them.
And he looks at it and goes, oh, what?
5 gold.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
No, 5 gold.
And Lene says, you realize you gave him an extra. And she kind of whispers it to you, like she doesn't want to tell him, you know, that you gave him an extra, or she doesn't want you to be embarrassed or anything about it, that kind of thing.
I know. I gave him 5. We're good. It's 5 gold. 5 gold.
She kind of tells him just to like keep it, go, keep it. You know, it's like that. He's like bobbing the head, you know.
Don't worry about that sales tax, you know.
So, you know, which, you know, again, these would be expensive if they were just like plain Jane,
Right.
you know, daggers, but again, you know, you're getting them with a little bit more craftsmanship, in that they have these gems, a little more decorative kind of thing. So not expensive by any means, but anything else, you guys?
I know what I want. I was just waiting.
Okay.
Jace.
Yeah, I
first-
look around, and there's not much for me. Well, you got your daggers. Let's make sure we tell Lee that they do have the spears he's been looking for.
All right. Well, let's go find out what they're doing.
All right.
Okay. So you begin to walk over there. Lee, you and Pete and Rowan are all gathered around this, what looks kind of like a jeweler's booth. You see 3 kobolds who have like those little glasses. You know, one of them's got one, you know, over his eye, like the little kind of spectacles that he's like inspecting them and polishing it and, you know, working really closely with them. You have another one who's got one and he's like wrapping them in wires with these kind of like prongs and setting them in these little things. And you've got another one who's attaching them to like leather cords. And then you have, you see one coming from the back and he's, you know, carrying trays of them of different sizes and stuff. But, you know, and you see some that are probably uncut, you know, that aren't polished. But yeah, they're all manner of working over these gemstones here. So,
do they have any, like, since they're craftsmen, do they have any like crystal made leatherworking tools, or would that be at the armor?
So you're saying
Like
like
the
leather
tools I have?
but the like the tools that he just bought but made out of crystal?
Yeah, where like the tips or bits of them are
Hmm.
made out of crystal.
I gotcha. No, not necessarily. You don't see. You get the sense that they're a little more practical, and that they just use like the metal because they do, you know, craft with metal. That they don't revere it, or it's almost a reverence, like that they use it in all their iconography. Kind of thing.
Okay. I go in
So-
and I'm looking for like probably a battery sized sapphire just as is, and I think I find a polished one that's much smaller. How much for something like this? I guess nobody speaks common in here.
Lene says, you know, she kind of comes over after having helped them conclude their business and says, oh, you want to inquire about that?
Yeah.
Yes. So she,
Actually, and
again,
I'm like quickly looking around the shop, and I come in with 3 different things.
okay.
These.
Went to look at shiny dirt earlier and find some props.
I forgot my dice then, and I just haven't
yeah.
had these.
So here there is a table in this one, because this, you can kind of sense that this is kind of where they bring in the raw gemstones, they cut them. You kind of get the sense that there's maybe some of that going on in the back, and then they do a lot of the refining here. So they do have tables, kind of laid out. The two guards who have been following you do eye you a little closer here, making sure that this precious commodity kind of isn't messed with exactly. But you indicate it, and Lene asks, and the shop, one of the workers there responds in kind, and she says, "Oh, yes. Well, let's see. You have here. What was it that you were trying to find, or what was it that you were looking for specifically?"
I was looking for just a regular cut crystal, as is, and then like 2 necklaces, I guess.
Okay. Easy enough to find. They are, like I said, most of the kobolds in the city have some sort of necklace with them on them. Whether it's just a single one, or 3 or 4 or 5 kind of like spread out, or kind of like the flat cut stones as opposed to like the long kind of vial shaped crystals. They're in every aspect of their stuff here. So easily enough you're able to find them. The two necklaces and the uncut one. He kind of points to the uncut one, or the you say uncut or cut, polished.
Either one,
Okay.
just like a.
So he kind of points
size
to
of a battery.
the cut one that you're looking at, and he kind of like waves away like, "Bah, that's like garbage," kind of thing. And he reaches over and he gets on one of the trays over here, and he puts one over that's like more the size of almost like the size of like this kind of thing.
All right.
Like you would think, holy crap, this is like expensive, but he's like, no, just and it's like very nicely cut and polished, and so he kind of like points to that small one and is like, no, just this one. The 2 necklaces are about 5 gold apiece.
Okay.
And for this larger cut and polished one, he quotes you a price of 20 gold.
I don't have enough. I told Lene, I don't have enough for that big one. I've got change.
Rowan reaches over and he says, Pete, don't worry. This one's on me. I'm going to help you with it, because these are quite nice and rare. And if you decide you don't want one of this size, then I'm sure there would be opportunities to share it with others later.
All right. Can we get all 3 of these plus that one that you said was garbage, that uncut one? Because this one's pretty nice.
He kind of indicates like, are you trying to haggle, or are you just trying to like?
I'm not trying to haggle.
Okay. So he, Lene talks to him, and he says, yes, okay, yeah, sure. And you get that he basically just adds like 1 gold for that one.
Okay.
Like as part of the bundle, not that it was necessarily by itself 1 gold.
Okay. So, Rowan, I can afford just the 2 necklaces. If you can take care of the rest, that'd be great.
Oh yes, Pete, don't worry about it at all. I've got it here. And he actually is going to get that one for you, or those 2 that you were looking at, and then he is going to get a little bit more opulent of a blue sapphire necklace as well. It's got like 3 with this kind of like leather and metal pattern on it. So I will subtract.
That's like 20 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna subtract a certain.
Everyone,
amount from
I had the thought since we were here that since Scrat gave us the bag of holding, perhaps I'd get him something. So one of these necklaces is actually going to him.
Rowan's like, oh, that is a fantastic idea. I mean,
Yeah, I wanted to get him the leatherworking tools, but they don't seem to have stuff like that. Anyway, I just hope that this might remind him of home. If he's from here.
I mean, the leatherworking tools that Lee got had some of these gemstones in them. I mean, I'm sure he would like them as well.
That's true. I'm going to leave that up to you because I'm basically out of money. So if you want to do that as your own personal gift, you've already bought mine for him.
Yes,
So
I
thank
mean,
you.
I do love Scrit so much. I mean, we owe him so much. Yes, I think I'll get some of those leatherworking tools as well.
And
Just gonna spend Rowan's money.
It's getting deep in here.
And I don't really know what to do with this disc one. It's super nice, but I'm going to use this other one as for some spells later on. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just like thank you as much as I can to the Kobold worker. Thank you. I really appreciate this. Linnea, you've got to handle it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go find the others.
She gives him your thanks, and he kind of like appreciates that you appreciate his craftsmanship. And I'm gonna mark down that the gold that he took off for yours, and then he also got
Well, I've done all my shopping. Is everyone else good? You find your weapons, Lee? Everything good?
I would like to buy about 20 gold pieces worth of just some small crystals also.
Okay, easy enough. You're able to. Again, it's almost like they want to show off their wares because they don't get to very often. So easy enough. You're able to buy a small bag of sapphire gemstones. So I would just say 20 gold bag of sapphire gemstones in your inventory.
Okay.
You said 20, right? However much you said.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
And then I'm going to head over and talk to the blacksmith and inquire about a spear. I'm going to be looking for one that has the little danglies at the end of, like right below the tip of the spear.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you are able to find that. No problem. You find one that has that, and then so not only does it have like 2 of them kind of on leather thongs hanging down, wrapped in leather, but it also has like a larger one, probably more the size of a gold piece, but kind of like almost diamond shaped, inlaid into the handle. Like it's kind of wrapped in leather around the handle, and then halfway through the leather wrapping, it's got like one of those inlaid. So, and he charges you an exorbitant amount of 8 gold.
I take it.
Okay. And it's just a spear, but you can put
cool spear.
sapphire kobold spear or something. So. All right. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So you begin to look around, finish looking around, and you see Anwin is over kind of inspecting the dried herbs and mushrooms over in kind of this like medicinal shop that you see. And she kind of flits back to you and Pete, when you guys look like you're wrapping up.
Pete, did you want to check out the The dirt shop.
Do they have a dirt shop?
I mean mushrooms, but they grow in dirt. So
Oh,
I mean,
it's fine. I've got some of my own samples, and I'm out of money, so it's.
I
I'll just pick
didn't
up stuff
know-
on the way.
okay. I was gonna say I didn't know if they maybe had something over there that might tickle your fancy. You could plant when we get back to, our
Well, I've got-
garden.
I've got like these mushrooms and spores, and the ones that Lee blew us up with when we first got here, and some other samples and things. You've watched me pick things up as we go along, so. I've
Oh,
got some things.
I very well. I just didn't know if you wanted to gander at the wares over there. I'm good to head out whenever.
Okay. So, Rowan says, if we're all finished here, I think maybe getting some food and then heading out on the hunt for a beholder. Oof,
I
that's
think
gonna be
so.
rough. Okay. Well, yes.
Yes.
Lene, would you kindly take us to get some food and maybe if you have any provisions, rations or something that we could take, that would be fabulous. Thank you. She says, "Oh yes, very much." So she takes you back to your apartment and says that she'll be back with that, and we will take a short break.
All right.
So be back in about 5 minutes. All right.
That's me.
How are you giving it at?
It's up to you.
Welcome
In the back?
back. The first thing they heard was, "Who wants my friendship dagger?"
Yeah.
So fantastic.
I have somebody special in mind.
All right. So you all have finished up. You've gotten your food. Is there anything else you want to do before you try to head out?
Nope.
Oh, let's go.
I believe we should stop postponing the inevitable.
Jace died.
Got it. Yes. Let's
all right,
hope not.
so Lene actually, while you have been eating, she leaves for a little bit, and when she returns with none other than Dak. Dak is there, and he says, friends, it's
Yes.
Dak go with you.
Oh, Lord.
Dak's squad. We help scout.
Dak, you remind me of a kobold I once knew. His name was Skrit. I'm getting the
yes.
same migraine.
You mentioned Skrit.
Dak, do you have an Ezekiel on your squad?
What?
Or perhaps my mind just went blank of every cowboy player in existence.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm not a cowboy fan.
An Amari, maybe? An Amari?
Yeah.
Reborn, where's the door in this room in your house? I'm not familiar with this layout.
It's actually if you go straight and then take a left.
We've all been thinking it. There's no way that y'all haven't been thinking it.
I haven't, but thanks for ruining that guy's name for me now.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me that Dak put up 4 points this week.
Yeah.
You're
Literally
welcome.
lost me my game.
Yes. I faced someone with Dak, and I won because of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
I
needed
was on the other
Dr.
side.
Heels to win this week, and he couldn't even scrape out
I
of it.
couldn't.
All right. Well, so Dak says, yes, and he, as you walk outside of your little apartment there, you see his squad there. So there's 5 other kobold there in their armor, ready to go. You see that they all have spears and small crossbows, so light crossbows. So, all right. So Dak and Lene kind of start walking back through the city. You hear, lots of chattering here and there from other kobolds as they see you passing. And soon enough, you make your way out of the kobold city of Blueholdt. Once again, you are facing the expanse of the mushroom forest in the Underdark. The blue-lit streets of Blueholdt behind you. You see once again the purplish hue of dim lighting from all of the mushrooms of the mushroom forest. So, Dak comes up to you all and says, since he speaks common, and says, we go forth and then meet Scout to get report.
All right.
Excellent. Yes. Let's get the report.
Yes, let's go. And so he begins leading you through on the road that you were taking previously. You begin traveling in about half an hour. It begins. You see, it begins to curve to the right until you come to an intersection. And in this intersection, you see that it does turn right again and go back, kind of in the direction that you think the waterfall and stuff is, and then it also goes left. and in this, as well as going straight. They actually take the straight path after stopping for a moment to look both ways down this intersection. And they begin traveling down here. Somebody give me a perception check.
Sure. Be 21.
11.
21. So Jace begins to notice that the squad of scouts that are traveling just a little ahead of you, they start to be a little more alert. Just, kind of you've been traveling for about half an hour now or so, and they, far enough away from Blueholdt that this is becoming a more dangerous area. So, they, like I said, looking around a little bit more. You travel for about another hour, and the Dak raises a hand and kind of rushes off to the side of the road here. As he does, you see another kobold dressed in the livery of the Blueholdt guard comes out of the forest and begins chatting excitedly with Dak. Dak returns to the group and says, yes, the other scouts have spotted a recent area where the beholder has been seen. It's about another half hour's journey, and then we will spread out and try to locate it.
Like a good plan.
Jace, are you able to make yourself see in the dark again, or are we just going to go by the shroom lights?
Yes, at the moment I can see all right by the lights, by the purple lights. Correct. I can still see by the.
Yes, yeah, you can still see right now. It's if you were directly under one of those, it gives off the equivalent of bright light, but it's kind of almost like a dim purple light, just like underneath it, and then it kind of gives off like the dim light around it. So overall, you're kind of going between this like brighter, almost fluorescent purple light into kind of like a dim purple light. So yeah, but yeah, you can see. I mean, you're not blind by any means. So
in case it gets dark, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of my torches on my hip for you, just for sure.
Yes, that'd be excellent.
Maybe we can just throw it somewhere, give in that area.
And I mean, Heels, do you have torches? I mean, like most of the adventure packs have. Torches.
I do have torches. I also have a light cantrip. So.
And we also have lanterns.
Yeah, but that all takes time to do. Or I can just throw a torch and, druid fire, druid craft, light it.
Fiery druid. He is a fiery druid.
Let him do the one thing he wants. He's good at.
Yes, I can light it out of my palm like a giant match.
He wants to throw fire. Let him throw fire, guys.
He strikes it.
I will allow you to throw fire.
Flame cantrip on his hand like a striking a match. Perfect.
And hear me out. We have Thud and hold it in his mouth, and you hit it with the fireball.
That would be awesome.
What? What?
Trust me, it'd be really cool.
Maybe I did get this dagger. Just stab Jace in the back.
That was my concern as well.
All right, so you begin traveling again for half an hour, and as you do, you see after about 10 minutes, one of the scouting party kind of veers off into the side, and at this point, you're not on the path anymore. You're kind of following a game trail, for lack of a better term, into the woods at this point, into the mushroom forest. And you see one of the scouting party kind of quietly leave in a direction, and then another 10 minutes and you see another one go in the opposite direction. Like they're basically starting to kind of spread out and begin searching for more clues. Let's see. Let me get one of you, or a couple of you, roll either a survival or nature check.
Okay. You can roll one. 14.
14?
Survival.
Okay.
Yeah, Pete.
Yeah, a strong 6 for me
Night.
on survival.
19 on nature for me.
Okay. So Pete and Jace, you both begin to see evidence of something passing through here. You see evidence of scorch marks on the mushroom trees. You see some of the mushroom trees are like rotted away in sections.
Oh no.
You see one area where it looks like they're kind of just like cleaved off and knocked over. And you just kind of see things like this, like randomly. Like it doesn't
Right,
look like there's
definitely
any.
point some of these out.
Sure, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
look like
getting
there's
closer.
any method to it. But you begin to see evidence of this. By this point, over half of Dak's squad has dispersed, also looking, and you. Did somebody? No. All of you roll a perception check.
Oh,
Another
Yes.
Nat
Yeah.
20?
No, it's not a nat
Okay.
20, but it's
But
higher
it's
than a
over
1 and a
5.
2.
Oh my gosh, you
Okay.
gave it to me.
It's not a 1 or a 2, guys. I'll
Okay,
tell you
I got
that.
a
Gave it
nat
to me.
20,
I
You got
got
nat 20. All right.
an 8, but a nat
but I'm the
3.
only one.
13 for
Okay.
me.
Awesome.
17.
All right. So, Theoden, hold on. What do we have now? So, nat 20. Theoden got a 17.
13.
13.
All right.
Okay.
8.
Using up all the good rolls.
Rowan did not. He got like a 10. So, Theoden and Jace, actually, you were both kind of following behind the group at this point, with Dak's squad leading up in front, and you both hear what sounds like a fair distance to your left. You hear the sounds of one of those screeching mushrooms. Like I said, it sounds pretty far away, but you can hear it. That's what you sense. So, Jace, with your natural 20, after that you hear commotion as well in that direction. Not sure how far away it is. Probably, a few hundred feet easily,
Okay.
or more.
And I try to grab everyone's attention as silently as I can and kind of point in that direction.
Okay.
I am
Do you go
following
rushing
the
off in
same
that
page.
direction, or do you try to quietly go that
No,
direction?
I'm just trying to tell everybody that there's something that way.
Okay.
I wasn't like rushing at it.
I was hearing the mushrooms go off myself, Jace. I think we
Yeah.
should go check that out.
All right.
There's no time like the present, someone says.
Yeah, that person's dead.
Yes, he is very dead.
Theoden, roll another perception check for me.
Hey, that's a 19, baby. I
There
have
we
0
go.
to perception, so
All
it's
right.
literally just all roll for me.
As you get ready to walk off, you feel a little like right on top of your hat, and you hear Anwin from like over the brim of your hat say, "Oh, are we about to go into danger?" She kind of whispers it to you, like over the brim, you know, like.
I think so.
Okay. And then she like flutters up, kind of goes around, you know, looking around you guys, kind of like on watch, you know, with the group.
I just kind of push in.
Okay.
Start heading that way.
So you guys begin heading that direction. After about 5 minutes, the commotion you hear stops, and you hear the screeching stop. And you see, rushing back towards you, one of the kobolds of Dak's squad, and he comes back, chattering excitedly, and Dak is listening to him and talking back to him, and you all kind of like stop for a second, and he Dak turns to you and says, "Oh, they have found the beholder. Unfortunately, our other squad mate was slain, but
Did he notice the other one leaving?
well, there was a loud noise. One of the mushrooms that makes the loud sound. It went off, and it alerted the beholder, and he or the beholder shot at the two that were together and got one of them, but the other one hid and ran away and came back to tell us where they were at.
What did it shoot?
Oh, some kind of magic, he said.
Hey, this is what I was worried about.
Oh, I mean, it's okay. You are great warriors. You can take this beholder, yes?
I just go ahead and pull my shield over, grab my hammer,
I would like to stealth.
look at the rest of the group, and be like,
Roll
"Well,
for stealth.
no time to die like the present." Jace.
Yes, I believe that is the phrase.
Okay.
We knew what we signed up for.
As you begin walking, Dex turns to you and says, "Oh yes. They said that the beholder is in a clearing that has a hill, and that he's at the top of the hill."
Yeah, of course he is.
I rolled a 19 for stealth.
19. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty easy. You're able to kind of slip between the mushrooms just outside of the group, and pretty confident you're not noticed by anyone. So
All right, Lee, give us the layout. We want to get the jump on him.
okay. So you all continue moving forward. Soon enough, you do see, all of you at this point see more scorch marks. Again, you see a couple of the fungal trees, like something just like sliced through it, and it's kind of like over on its side. You see one that looks like it was withered away by, just kind of withered and died. And you arrive in a clearing, and you see this clearing. There's stumps of some trees, but then actually kind of up in the clearing, there's kind of large broken pieces of stone, is what it looks like. And it kind of rises up to this hill. And up on top of this hill, you see a stone that turns and kind of rises above the hill, and you see what looks like a beholder. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
because it's 11:40 and getting into a battle at this time.
Yeah.
Would be,
Oh, especially a beholder. We're gonna be here for a bit.
Yeah, this would be a good battle.
I mean, we're
And
either gonna
hopefully-
be here for a bit, or we're all gonna die in the first round.
and
Very
hopefully,
quickly, yes.
Rowan will be back next week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that'd be nice.
Definitely not a fight I want Rowan to miss.
No, we don't want him
No,
to miss
not
the
at all.
beholder fight. So
If he's not here next week, I say we send Rowan in his bait
I
to
agree.
get the attention.
you never know.
If he is here, he'll
Maybe-
probably just do it anyways.
He'll probably do that. Yeah,
That's true. Maybe he could just entertain the beholder.
yeah, you know.
Oh gosh, stop.
Ask
Maybe
him
the holder
politely
likes
to
a good
leave.
show.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
why do we think he always wants to fight?
Is he gonna jump down there and do his little sword dance that didn't work on
Oh, yeah.
spiders?
You know, spiders. Actually, it
Well,
did
I-
work on them
Yeah, they were all dead by the time he got the opportunity to do
to
it.
do anything. Yeah, yeah. So,
Mm.
well, hey, thank you all for being here. Heels, I know you're pretty tired.
I'm beat today. I don't know why.
That's okay. I understand. Last night I was super tired and went to bed early.
Mhm.
But I woke up refreshed, so that was nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, any Thanksgiving plans?
Thanksgiving. That's the
Couple.
plan.
All right.
Not the.
Yeah.
I think actually we're going over to Heels' house, myself
Yeah.
and,
All right.
and my clan. Tomorrow we're having a Friendsgiving with us youth leaders, and so we're all getting together
Fantastic.
and having a little get together. We started that a year ago, 2 years ago, Jeff.
Yeah. I think it was a year or two ago. I don't know how many
that's
times
awesome.
we've done it now.
So we kind of
Yeah,
try to
it's a
get
lot of fun,
together,
though.
just us,
Mhm.
and kind of hang out and do our own little
Yep.
thing, and then obviously we got family and whatnot going on Thursday, so
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
and then hopefully a lot of sleep on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
no, I'm hoping.
I may actually, because I'm in, the new job. I may actually work on Friday, but it'll just be work
Mm.
from home. So.
Oh, gotcha. It's a
Lucky
paid
you.
sleep. I got you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Hopefully, I
only-
get to start working
I
from
get-
home with this.
yeah.
It's only a
promotion.
half a day's worth of work anyway. Like we only work
Yeah.
like, unless we have other stuff to do. It's only
See-
half a day
See.
on Fridays. So.
Mrs. Reborn is not too keen on me working from home, because what working from home entails is I have my laptop sitting right here next to my computer while I play video games. I can then send emails.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, you know, if you have that kind of freedom, great. But
Half of my job is
Um,
waiting on computers to compute. So
I understand.
We know how that
I
goes.
understand. I mean,
I-
some
I
IT,
can't-
some
I can't
sorry.
relate to
I'm
this
sorry,
at all with my job. I do get paid to sleep, but like I do get like
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
supposed to
That's
sleep at
nice.
my job. Like not only do I get paid to sleep, it's like
right.
they encourage it. So
They
Some
encourage
difference.
it.
yeah,
hey, there's a
They
fire at the
do.
house down the street. No, I'm sleeping right now. Don't.
Like,
Yeah.
please get a
Don't.
healthy
Yeah.
amount of sleep at
For some
night.
reason, every time my boss catches me sleeping, they're not okay with it. I don't know why.
yeah.
I don't
Become
know.
a firefighter. But
Right.
I'll be at the station. We're gonna have. Unfortunately, my family probably won't be there because it's like a 2.5 hour drive. But
Hmm.
everybody else's family should be coming up, and we're gonna have Thanksgiving with everybody there at the station. So it'll be fun.
Awesome. Yeah, we will have to do. We're gonna travel to see JJ's family. It's not that far. It's like an hour, hour and a half, to another town in the southern part of Oklahoma. But then we'll come back same day and enjoy some more time with family and not go shopping. So, because that's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay
Yeah.
away from that. That right there is just asking for people to get hurt.
I know.
Got Cyber Monday now, anyways.
We legitimately
Very
went one
true.
year. I love
Honestly, the
telling this
sales
story.
last the same. Like,
It
they're
is.
like the whole month.
Yeah.
It doesn't even.
It drives me crazy. We one time when our son was real little, we had him laying on towels that were gonna buy, and he's laying in the bottom of this the cart at Walmart, and we're sitting there waiting on something. I think it was when the Kindles or something first came out, and we're sitting there waiting on them to go. And I walk over, and there's like this video game thing, and I was gonna get my nephews, who were real young at the time, some video games. And I'm literally watched these two ladies, had to be in their 50s, like straight up like brawling over a $5 video game. And I went back to my wife and I was like, nah. Nah.
Oh, come on. You could have taken them.
I don't think I could have. The look they had in their face, I don't think I wanted to take either of them. They would have whooped my little butt like it was nothing.
What if the purge is based on Black Friday?
Oh no.
That's some legitimacy to that.
Yeah. I have some Black Friday stories, but I can't tell them on a family friendly.
Oh, I was
Nothing
working
that I
at,
did. It's just.
I was working at Walmart. The very first year I worked Black Friday at Walmart, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and they literally, the pallets come out wrapped in black plastic back then, and all you did was cut the black plastic. They literally were like, listen, people have been mauled. Cut the black plastic and walk away from the pallet, like very quickly, like just let them do what they need to do and then clean up the mess when it's done. And literally there were people, like luckily I think I had like clothes or something. So like I cut it. And people were just staring at me like I was stupid. But the people who had like the pallets of TVs, they cut it and they run. They ran. So they were like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah. The best thing to do is find a Walmart in a small town. Yeah. And then you can walk through and get a whole bunch of stuff. So
which is going to be weird because our Walmart right now is still on their like almost COVID number. They close at 11 and they don't open back up until like 7 a.m.
instead of 24
So how
hours.
you going to do Black Friday at midnight if you're closed an hour before that?
You don't.
Nope.
My son used to love telling everybody the only day that Walmart is closed is on Christmas, and like now that's not the case.
No, not anymore.
Closed all the time.
Awesome.
I know, because I'm a late night shopper. Like I don't go shopping before 1 a.m. So like
I'm with you there.
And now they've messed it all up.
We went shopping to grab a few little odds and ends for our Thanksgiving. And me and my son went there at like 10:30, completely forgetting they close at 11. And we're just like walking through, grabbing things. And they're like over the PA, we need you to be checked out before 11 o'clock because we are closing the doors. I'm like, oh, so we're like in one of those grocery getting like games or
montages.
We're like running down,
Nice.
like, oh yeah, grab that. Okay, he's got a list. Poor little guy's just marking things off his list. As I'm like, yep, grab that. That's over here. We're just running down, snatching things. We didn't even get half of it. We're like, oh, we'll come back later. We got out of there. Like it was like 5 minutes till 11. I was like, I'm not gonna be the guy that holds them up because all those people are mad.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all we have for tonight. We should be back next week, and it will be our 38th episode, and 1 week away from our 1 year episode.
Next week will be the 30th.
Yes,
Third
so that's
was
what I'm saying.
actually
2 weeks will be our year-ish.
Thirdin was actually born on the 30th. I finished creating him with our wonderful DM's help on the 30th. So he'll be a year old.
Awesome.
Lee was born after like 6 other characters. I went through so many different characters.
I was saying I made Thirdin, and then they were like, "Hey, you're going to be a dwarf paladin," and Noah was going to be a
barbarian.
A barbarian, yeah. And he's like,
true.
"Guess I'm not doing that now."
It's all good.
No, I was up for whatever. It was just going to kind of be based off that everybody kept changing, and I ended up changing Lee's subclass like also last minute.
I think
I'm surprised nobody went for like the magic user, honestly.
Which was surprised. Well, I mean, we have Pete. Pete's our magic user.
We got no magic users yet.
He doesn't use intellect.
But
we're talking about people that actually use the magic.
Yeah, no, I actually have
the only magic he uses is hoarding around with his puppy.
Have a sorcerer or wizard or warlock.
Third in a barkeep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Third in wanted a barkeep, had no wizard to create him one.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. We hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving if you are in the United States. We hope you have a good Thanksgiving whether you're in the United States or not.
Yeah.
No, Canada's was on October 11th this year.
Was it on October 11th?
Yeah, theirs is always in October.
Oh, happy late Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those weird Canadians. But we love you all. God bless and good night.